A new page in the Book of Pokemon Unite has turned. Last week, during Underdunk 59, it marked the new chapter in the history of our game. Rayquaza has descended from the tower and Groudon has risen from the magma. A fresh facelift for Pokemon Unite has given a brand new look and feel for our beloved game. Outside of the new map, we also saw a new ban format, possibly temporarily. Since the tournament mode did not enable Groudon, we had to run the tournament in a custom mode where teams would blind ban up to 3 Pokemon, so potentially 6 Pokemon. Each match would be unavailable. Pawmot was live, but banned during the tournament. And with all of the changes we saw teams change strategies, play new Pokemon, and allow for a new meta to start to reveal itself. Our first round of the day included Bush Check and Regidrago haters. In game number 1, Regidrago haters got off to a quick start on the back of their Zoroark pick, along with that support Mew that would not quit. The biggest surprise was really the first pick though, Tinkaton. Not a very common first pick, but it truly showed up and showed out. The true MVP of the match was Burzy on the EXP share Mew, earning themselves nearly 140,000 damage and getting themselves out of sticky situation after sticky situation. It was a close game up to the final stretch, but the Regidrago haters, they were able to earn 4 KOs, only trading the Zoroark during that time with Groudon up. And with Blissey going for a back cap, the haters were able to clear Groudon and make their way to that game-ending Game 1 victory. Game 2, we saw a little bit of a switch up on the draft strategy. Heavy emphasis on scoring from the Regidrago haters. Dodrio and Sableye were on the menu for them, and they really put the pressure on the enemy side. Both Trevenant and Alolan Raichu made an appearance. They provided the sustain and the burst damage that Regidrago haters needed to pair along with their vision and the map pressure that Sableye along with the Dodrio provided. However, even though the Regidrago haters had a demanding lead of game number 2, Bush Check did not give up. One final valiant effort, they were able to find 2 very quick KOs. Unfortunately, the Trevenant was near impossible to take down, and the Regidrago haters fought right back. Up by a few hundred points and not wanting to yield any buffs, and with multiple members of the Bush Check squad down, they ignored the shiny new objective to go for scores to seal the deal. Regidrago haters were able to move forward to round 2 on the winner's side. In winner's round 2, we picked up to see Turtle Time and Exodia. In game 1, it was all Turtle Time. Absol got off to a monstrous head start. However, Exodia came to play. The first Regi fight ended up being in the bottom path. Despite being down levels though, Exodia was able to steal away and win that Regieleki battle, but lost the war of attrition. Halfway through the match, it was a bit of a seesaw battle back and forth in a 1-point game. Even the first minute of Groudon ended up being back and forth with no one really able to make a move. That was until Exodia was able to find big KOs and to counter the score to ensure the lead was theirs. In game number 2, it was Turtle Time's time to shine. Rixel Pick ended up grabbing the Absol for a run back, but the biggest pick for them ended up being Elo Poppy's Cinderace, who outpaced Absol, earning level 14 by the time Groudon hit the map. During Groudon, it proved to be invaluable, dodging a Gengar Unite move with Feint and hitting a 3 KO streak with excellent repositioning around the fight. At that point, the rip was on. Turtle Time grabbed Groudon and deposited their points in the goal zones to seal the deal for game 2. In a win or move to the lower bracket game 3, Exodia was unrelenting. Petal Dance Venusaur went absolutely bananas. It got off to an insane level lead and never looked back. Venusaur, along with the Buzzwole, fought through the heavy sustain of the Alchemy, along with Snorlax Unite moves, won a massive team fight to lock in the Game 3 victory, earning them a spot in the next round. However, Exodia's time in that next round, it was a little bit short and abbreviated. They ran into the brick wall that was Project Mbappe, filled with former world champion Overlord, along with previous regional winners Roland, Kratos, and Celestial. Project Mbappe ended up running through game number 1. Despite a little bit of a late start, by the 4-minute mark, Exodia lost their T2 bottom goal zone, and with a large lead going into Groudon, a huge wind condition ended up hitting the home goal zone of Exodia. Regieleki, along with Project Mbappe, went directly into that home goal zone and ensured the lead for Project Mbappe. At that point, all they had to do was defend to take game number 1, which they did quite easily. Game number 2 wasn't much different. Halfway through the match, they had a more than 200-point lead. Another T2 broken pad meant Project Mbappe had another home-walking Regieleki. This time, though, they chose to fight Exodia over that Groudon, but still came out ahead. After depositing their points, it was a clean 2-0 sweep. In the winners semifinals, Project Mbappe took on G. It was a father and son face-off, Overlord versus Slash. In game number 1, G got off to a quick start and were ahead about 150 points nearing that halfway mark. G ended up taking that lead into that end game, and with 30 seconds remaining in the match, Groudon was still up. G waited for the engage and capitalized on the fight. Winning Groudon and holding on to their lead, G took game number 1. Game number 2, a little bit of a different story though. There's a lot of trading across the map, a lot of split pushing, and halfway through the game, it was a close battle. Project Mbappe fought for a position and earned themselves a Registeel buff. Nearing the final stretch, G clawed their way back, breaking a T2 goal zone. However, that left the Regirock buff for Project Mbappe. A mad dash for Groudon was the play for Project Mbappe down some points. Lucario ended up securing it and the race was on. G had a valiant attempt to defend, but Eldegoss just was able to squeak to the side and score at the last second, earning a Game 2 victory for Project Mbappe, keeping them in the winner side of the bracket. In game number 3, Project Mbappe on a tear. At the halfway point, they had a massive lead, already breaking 3 goal zones for G. Now, during Groudon, Project Mbappe ended up playing it incredibly slow, very patient, as they had a massive lead. Ducky, on the Mamoswine, ended up finding an insane engage on the Blaziken, leading to a knockout. G decided to go ahead and take their chances and rip Groudon, but it was too late. Project Mbappe made another dash towards the T2 goal zone as well as the home goal zone, depositing nearly 500 points, earning them the Game 3 victory and securing a spot in those winners finals. However, the winners finals didn't quite happen. Pepperito, who advanced on the opposite side of that top bracket, ended up forfeiting, which allowed Project Mbappe to advance to the grand finals. In the lower bracket, Goofy Goobers made a heroic run, beating M8, G, as well as Dynasty to advance themselves back to the grand finals for the second straight tournament. With one game in hand from the winner's side of the bracket, along with the threat level midnight rule in place, Project Mbappe only needed a singular win to crown themselves the champions. The Goofy Goobers, the defending champions, did not want to go down without a fight. Against the team that has sprinted through the winner's side of the bracket, the Goofy Goobers gave it their best effort. Early objectives went the way of Project Mbappe, but a great Regieleki steal from the Greninja allowed for the Goofy Goobers to not only stay in the game, but even secure a late lead before the final stretch. However, the final fight broke out at the basement Regieleki. Goofy Goobers had a few Pokemon get knocked out, which gave Overlord the green light on Cinderace to rip Groudon. Umbreon, trying to get Vision or maybe even a steal, could not get in on the Groudon as Dodrio went for a back cap to give them a big lead. However, it was very unfortunate for the Goofy Goobers as Project Mbappe, they did not miss their cooldowns. They aced the Goofy Goobers on that T2 pad, allowing Project Mbappe to deposit all of their points into the goal zone, securing their title as the first ever champions of Groudon. Well, trainers, Groudon is here to stay. We'll be starting the broadcast very, very soon. Get ready for some Underdunk number 60.